You can make a difference. You can give hope to a child. You can change a life. And that is no small change.
Welcome to another episode of One-on-One. My name is David Staal.
And I'm Chris Reinsma. And Dave, I'm noticing that today you have a very small cup on the table here.
Yeah, you know, Chris, we haven't received a mug in a long time, and our other mugs were taken away. So this is it. Unless somebody sends us a mug from your location, which would appear right here, it's these for now, Chris.
Yeah, so please send in another mug from your state so we can feature it on the One-on-One show. And what are we talking about today, Dave?
Well, it's amazing that we're talking about sending in things because we found 5 questions that mentors and prayer partners just flat out want to know the answer to. And a lot of them have to do with summer because summer has started now. And so that's what we'll look at is we'll look at those 5 questions.
So one of the questions that we always get asked, Dave, is what do we do or what do mentors do when the relationship ends? And kind of how do the relationships end? There's a couple of ways in which that typically happens.
Right. And you're asking me because my little guy just recently moved away for the 2nd year in a row. So I'm like,
You have some personal experience.
yeah, like I'm chasing away kids. I'm not sure if that's exactly the impact we wanted me to have, but it's a serious question because I had to wrestle through this too as my both my little guys have moved away. Or maybe you have a 5th grader or 6th grader and they're going on to middle school, and for some reason your relationship has come to an end. I think that's what the question is.
Yes.
Well, a couple thoughts. First of all, don't take it personally, which I haven't. But second of all, think about if your relationship has come to an end, it's time then to go back and sit down with your director, share what you've liked about the program, anything else about the program, but most important, and hear me on this, is volunteer again, re-up for starting a new relationship with a new child, because that change in a life that you were able to help accomplish with the child that your relationship is now ending, there's another child, I'm sure, waiting at your school for somebody to come along just like you.
Yep.
So does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay, another question, Chris, though, is for those fortunate majority of people who their relationship is going to continue on in the fall. What about this summer? Can you have contact over the summer?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of mentors want to know, should I or could I contact my mentee over the summer? And the answer is yes, you can. But we want you to do it in a safe way. And so there's a couple things to think about. One is, one of the best ways to have contact with your mentee over the summer would be in some kind of a group outing. So perhaps your program is going to plan an event where all the mentors and mentees are coming together. That's a great way to see your mentee over the summer. If you are going to see them one-on-one or not in the large group, we're going to ask you to hold on to the 2 non-related adult rule, okay, so that you're going to have another non-related adult with you. Pick them up first, and then you're going to go ahead and get your mentee. We're going to ask you also to have parental permission for an event like that to happen. And we're also going to ask that you make your director aware of what's going on, so that you have all 3 of those steps in place before you would go ahead and have that contact with your student during the summer. The other piece of that too is that you got to think about transportation sometimes. And so if you're transporting a child, we got to make sure that your director has a copy of your driver's license and proof of insurance. But summer contact is good. Okay, there's a good thing to do over the summer because it's just going to help your relationship that much more when you get back together in the fall.
Or you can just write a note and send a note in the mail too, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody loves getting mail.
Absolutely. And a lot of programs will do that as well. If you can't see your mentee in person, we do encourage you to write notes and send them just to let them know that you're thinking about them over the course of the summer. It's good. Dave, what should prayer partners be doing over the summer? What's their role? What can they do?
Well, I think their role continues on. Whereas a mentor and a child sort of go into a different season, I think a prayer partner continues on, and that means praying throughout the summer, praying for a couple things specifically. First, and most importantly, I believe, is pray for your child, because he or she is probably going into is going into a very different season,
Right.
meaning the structure of the school day isn't there. And so maybe that child is going to be home all day long, alone, or with little supervision or whatever. There's a lot of reasons to pray for your child over the summer. So continue on doing that. And then secondly, pray for your mentor too, the mentor that you partner with, that he or she would be refreshed and replenished over the summer to start off the next year with real strong legs.
Dave, it sounds like there's maybe some even more important reasons to be praying over the summer because of the situation our kids might be in. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, Chris, a lot of times the home environment that our kids come from is not necessarily ideal. Maybe one or both parents, if they're around, are working quite a bit. There's a lot of opportunities for, less than ideal circumstances for kids to be part of for the entire summer. And they need that prayer support. They need that prayer support. So definitely keep up the prayers if you're a prayer partner.
Right.
But Chris, now shifting gears a little bit, we've been talking about contact with kids. What about the opportunity that mentors have to recruit other mentors, recruit their friends over the summer? Can I go and recruit a friend of mine to be a mentor?
Absolutely. And programs report to us that some of the best recruitment initiatives that have taken place have actually been that just they ask their mentors to go out and more or less reproduce themselves, to recruit somebody else, one of their friends, somebody else from church that they know, to become mentors. And really, it's the power of that personal ask, because you as a mentor can really speak to the power of the experience. And I think that ask from you as a mentor to somebody else is an incredibly powerful vehicle for recruiting. So I would say that absolutely, if you can think about some friends, pray about some people that you could ask this summer to mentor with you in the program, I think that would be a great way to continue to build momentum in your Kids Hope USA program.
And taking your response with the question before too, maybe prayer partners could pray for more mentors to step up and those connections, those conversations to take place so that more kids can be reached when school starts again in the fall.
Yeah, and a lot of programs report to us that they do have waiting lists of kids who are waiting to be mentored. So I think it's a great thing to think about. And it's not just the Kids Hope USA director that sort of bears the responsibility for making sure those kids have mentors. You as a mentor and as a prayer partner have responsibility too. Dave, if I was a mentor or a prayer partner and I was wanting to get some more information, to do some education for myself over the summer or really at any time, where could I go to get more resources to help me as a mentor or prayer partner be more effective in my role?
Well, Chris, first and foremost, you can go to your house and have dinner with you and the
Absolutely. I would love them to come over. Just please call 24 hours ahead. That's all I need.
Okay, short of that, the best suggestion we have is to visit the new Mentor and Prayer Partner website or web pages that are going up real soon. To do that, you go to our main website, which is www.kidshopeusa.org. Go to the top of the page there, you'll find Mentors and Prayer Partners. Click on that link, and then there's going to be all sorts of resources loaded up there, Chris, starting June 14th, where as a mentor, as a prayer partner, at your own pace throughout the summer, when you have an off season here, you can go onto that website and start to refresh your knowledge of great uses of mentoring hours, different things you can do with your child, but it's an amazing resource for you to do some self-training over the summer. Again, whenever you want to. It's available 24/7 so that you start the school year off really strong.
Right, and if I'm going there for the first time, there will be a password that I have to create and kind of a login? Okay.
Yeah, it'll ask you for a login, which will be your email address, and then to establish a password, which you just do that the first time, then you just keep using the same password over and over.
That's great. That's great. Good stuff. Well, some information that I think all the people watching this want to know is who's the next winner of our contest, Dave? And why don't you describe our contest while I get the bingo cage ready here.
There we go. Here's what happens is we will draw out the name of a program. And when we do, if we draw out your program, you have 24 hours from the date of this broadcast to give us a call in the national office. Basically, because this broadcast is happening on June 11th over a weekend, you have until Monday, June 13 to call us in the national office. So by Monday, June 13th, by 5 p.m. Eastern Time, give us a call here in the office and tell us that you are the winning program, and we will send you a $100 gift certificate so you can buy Kids Hope materials. So, Chris, who did we select this time?
We selected Trinity Lutheran Church of Auburn, Illinois, and the director there is Gene Brenning. So, Gene, congratulations. If you call within 24 hours, you will get a $100 gift certificate to the Kids Hope USA store, and you can redeem that with some great stuff from the store.
Yeah, and if you know Gene, call Gene and say, Gene, you got to call, because that 24 hours starts 5 o'clock, June 13 is when your deadline is, Gene. So, Chris, I tell you what, we covered 5 big questions today. And, you know, there are 5 questions that are in a lot of mentors' mind, don't necessarily get asked that often, but they're critical questions when you think through them, because the life change process is a long process. The summer months have purpose in our program, knowing that ultimately our program exists to help young lives change. And Chris, we both know that when you change a life,
that's no small change. You know, Dave, I feel like we need to spice it up a little bit.
what do you think about that?
Well, I just think that, you know, rather than just sitting here drinking our coffee, we ought to do something a little different.
Like what?
Like, I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to dare you to pour whatever is left in your cup on your head.
Dare me to pour coffee on my head? Come on, Chris.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm not just going to dare you, Dave. I am going to double dog dare you.
No.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, I can't back away from a double dog dare. But I can double dog dare you back to join me.
Absolutely, I will.
And I tell you what, you count to 3.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll pour it on our heads.
Okay.
All right? And hopefully don't splash too much on there. But we'll pour it on our heads. And in fact is, let's do eyes shut, because I don't want to get the coffee in my contacts.
Got it.
All right?
Okay.
So you're going to count to 3.
I'm going to count to 3.
And is it 1, 2, 3?
Pour.
Then we pour, as our eyes go shut at 1. Okay?
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Okay, here we go.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4.